So something cool that we want to talk to you guys about is the mini games, the Pazaak playing, the speeder racing, and that stuff that we saw in the first two games. So we've actually, I guess, yeah, obviously can't give names because I don't want to get anybody in trouble here and companies. So, but we've talked to some people from some companies that may or may not have been extremely heavily involved in the production of the first two games, because we know people. And something they've talked to us about is the mini-games, and how, not that they regretted putting those mini-games in, but just, the absurd amount of work that went into making them work, and how they were really not vital to the actual function of the game storyline, with the exception of that speeder race on Taris in the first game. And this is something that we've actually thought a lot about, because especially after playing the MMO, we've looked at what aspects work good in a single-player game and what aspects work good in a multiplayer, and the bad, the good and the bad of both. So, but to strictly stick with the mini-games here, we were thinking, the mini-games are cool, but you're playing it against a computer, and at what point does that kind of get mundane, predictable, and boring? So we were thinking if the mini-games aspect of Knights of the Republic 3 was actually a multiplayer aspect. So the storyline, the game itself, is a single player, but we also thought it would be cool if there was an online component where, you could do the speeder racing against your friends, play Pazaak against real people, and that way it kind of adds more of a value to it, because then you might have a reason to buy more Pazaak decks, and maybe everybody would have their own personal speeder, and you get updates and customizations around your speeder. This is, like I said, in the very early embryonic stages of development, but it's definitely something we wanted to voice out there and get your opinions on. That's just an idea we have. None of that is set in stone. This is just kind of a concept that we came up with on the development side of the team. So we just wanted to voice that out there and see what the fans, you guys, think, whether you think this is a great idea, whether you think this is a horrible idea. Now would be the time for you to make your all capital letter posts about this particular subject. So I guess now we're entering the last section here. I just wanted to let everybody know, no, we're not schizophrenic. I know we've been jumping all over the place. We have so much that we want to talk to you guys about. We have 100,000 different subjects that we could spend days talking to you all on. And so we just wanted to use this podcast to touch on a whole bunch of different points that hopefully later we will be able to expand upon, and just do like one podcast just on canon, and one podcast just on minigames, and one podcast just on, the state of where we're going with this. So we just tried to kind of blanket a whole range of things to get responses from you guys, get input from you guys. And we love that, by the way, and we so appreciate the tremendous support that we've been receiving from the fan base. And we read all of it, and I run the Facebook page, and I try to respond to all of you as quickly as I humanly can, because there's quite a lot of you often saying a lot of different things. So I do my best to get responses out to all of you. Right now, I think the only things that have really been confirmed to you guys has been Dantooine, Mandalore, HK-47, T3M4, the Ebon Hawk. But your main character is you, so you're a brand new character in the Star Wars universe. You can be male, female. We haven't really touched upon whether or not you're going to be an alien or not yet, if that'll be available. But the main character is a blank slate Jedi apprentice. You're coming towards the end of your apprenticeship, and we wanted your character to very purposely have as blank of a slate as possible moving forward. You'll have an established backstory, but as blank of a slate as possible moving forward, because we want this story to be as much about you, the player, as possible. And whether that means you're going to play the game to be as exactly as you as possible, or you're going to like role play yourself as somebody who's totally not you, like no matter what way you want to do it, we want the players to have the option to do that. So that is who your main character is going to be, and the play style, just in like one sentence where we're going with it. Just in terms of familiarity, it's gonna harken more from the first 2 games. And rest assured, we know that this podcast has probably brought up a million questions. We will try to answer all of them that we can, and we're going to try and make this a regular thing, folks. Obviously, because of schoolwork and military stuff, we're not always we won't always be able to do like an every weekend podcast, but we will do our very best to try and organize everything that we just talked about into more clear, concise, specific podcasts in the future, and just general development stuff as it comes up moving on in the future. So that was my rambling bit. Austin, do you want to ramble?
I enjoy hearing like counter arguments to like why we're doing stuff, because it makes us look at it and what we're doing. Okay, well, some people like this, some people don't. But like David said, we have to make sacrifices and whatnot. So that's the main reason. But I just like hearing criticism and stuff. I think that's what will make this a better game and better thing overall. So just keep them coming if you guys don't agree with what some of the stuff we're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like I said, we love the debates and all that stuff that happens, so don't be afraid to like question us. Believe me, we're nobody important. We're just people like you. So please feel free to voice your opinions. But at the same time, we're not just fanboys having fun. We're actually trying to, we have a serious real-world objective here, and we have to keep that in focus. But don't let that discourage you. We want to definitely hear everything that everyone has to say. That is a reason why we started this out on a Facebook, because Facebook is a great platform for you guys to voice what you're thinking, what you're feeling. Also, just share us. Tell all of your friends about us. More likes are better, more the merrier. The more people who know about us, the more opinions we can get. The more people who know about us, the more people will find us. And we will... When push comes to shove later down the road, folks, just us pitching it isn't really going to be what gets this made. There'll need to be a fan base kind of shouting over our shoulders, out the window of the Disney parking lot, demanding for this game to be made, which is where you guys are going to come in. So if there's anything specifically that you guys want mentioned in a coming podcast, please comment about that. Please let us know what topics are most important to you to hear us, spoken about in a podcast, because we can get a whole lot more information out a lot quicker in a podcast than just making posts. And definitely a lot about how this game is actually going to look and some of the things that we're going to be doing with it that's really going to make it stand out as an RPG. And we're going to try and revolutionize the world of RPGs with this game. So we have quite large shoes to fill, and we can't do it without your support. So thank you very much for everybody who's listening to us and actually listened to us all the way through on this. So I believe that is all I have for you today. All right, so we're Project Blacklight, and we're trying to make Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 3. Thank you so much for listening, and tune in to us, I guess, next week or two. Hopefully we'll get another podcast out and address some of the things that you guys want to hear us talk about. So thank you very much. May the Force be with you.